Which years? How long have you been coming?
This is the 28th year at Davos.
28th year.
And the 19th breakfast, inshallah, tomorrow.
Sure.
Pakistan breakfast. And 19 years. This time, UBank is partnering us. Till last time, Martin Daub partnered us for 6 years.
Right.
And before that, we did it by ourselves. And the other 3 receptions we are doing by ourselves. We have no partners in the other 3 receptions.
So, what shall we expect? Who's coming for the breakfast?
Well, you know, usually we have representative of the Pakistan government there. This time is going to be Ms. Sherry Rahman. And I want to, because the major problem today that we have is the US-Pakistan relationship, which needs to be this thing. So what I've done is that one of the topmost business tycoons of the United States, Ross Perot Jr., you know, whose father was also a presidential candidate, and every government, Democrat or Republican, you know, takes advice from them. I've got him to speak on the stage for a few minutes. So he will share the stage with Sherry Rahman tomorrow, inshallah.
So when all these foreigners, I mean, there are people coming to visit you at the hotel at Panorama as well, they come and meet you and they ask about what's happening in Pakistan. What do you tell them?
You know, basically, even I'm not convinced as to what is happening in Pakistan is being properly portrayed. There is a problem in Pakistan today. The problem arises out of the fact that elected government was brought down by whatever means, right? And no elections are being held. But I think at the end of the day, the major crisis that we are facing today is on 2 fronts. One is economic, and the other thing is a crisis of security on our western borders, which we never expected. And I think in which I must say we ourselves blindly trusted our emotions rather than real politics. We should have realized that you know, that they will always remain a problem for us because of the Durand line. And I think that we really messed up. And I think the culmination of that was our DG ISI going and having a cup of tea in Kabul when you really know, you know, we had no business rubbing the noses of the Americans in the dust at that time. The Americans were sensitive to it. So naturally what Imran Khan said and what he did all together came to a head, right? We cannot afford. I'm most grateful for the help Chinese give us. I'm absolutely happy about their dependence on us for you know, for being a part of the China-Pakistan economic corridor. But the fact remains that US is a superpower, and we cannot afford to have adverse relationship with a superpower like the United States, which, by the way, has been very helpful to us, except for this floods. Except for this floods, in every other natural disaster, earthquake or flood, the United States has been the first with the mostest. Only this time, I think, because of our prevailing relationship, things have not worked out the way they should have.
पाकिस्तान के लिए क्या इस वक्त आप देख रहे हैं कुछ पॉजिटिव या जो चीज़ें होनी चाहिए?
जब पाकिस्तान देखिए, I tell you one thing, we have a lunch session tomorrow, which is called France-Pakistan Gateways to Eurasia. We are a gateway to Eurasia. There are many gateways. France is not only gateway. France is there, the Netherlands is there, Germany is there. They're all gateways for us, right? But the fact of the matter remains, because of the China-Pakistan economic corridor and the old RCD highway, we are the only lifeline for the Chinese at the moment. If the Chinese really want to continue trade, because the Chinese, even though they have you know, increased their naval power, they cannot hope to compete with the combined naval, with the United States naval power. What talk about the combined naval power of 3-4 countries in that region? So I think the Chinese always going to rely on the BRI, the Belt Road Initiative. And in the Belt Road Initiative, China-Pakistan economic corridor is one of the prime this thing for the Chinese. So it is a fact that we require the China-Pakistan economic corridor because it gives us a boost. It gives us a boost. It gives us a lot of economic resurgence. But at the same time, we must not forget it's the Chinese also who need us, right? So we must balance the relationship. We cannot have a relationship which is one-sided, and we have a tremendous opportunity, because even if you look at this government, they are reaching out to both the Chinese and the United States, which is, I think, a correct thing. We cannot afford to be on, have one side. And I commend, actually, if you look at our foreign policy at the moment, led by Bilawal, is doing an excellent job, right? So I don't care who is the government. If they work for Pakistan, it's good enough for me.
So a lot of talk in the last year, we've heard people talk about a technocrat setup, a technocrat coming in, as a team to solve for some of the, and to actually take decisions that a democratically elected government might find it difficult to take such unpopular decisions. What's your view on?
No, I don't like a technocrat government. A technocrat government is not a representative government, right? You can have technocrats in government. I think the Constitution should allow a certain percentage of technocrats in the cabinet, because there are some posts in the cabinet which can only be handled by a technocrat, the finance ministry, for example, right? So, and also maybe the IT side, right? And unless you have somebody who's been elected on that post, you'll be lucky to that. So it is very necessary to have this thing, but not a technocratic government, because who are the technocrats? These guys were there with General Musharraf, right? They were there with Asif Zardari. They were there with Nawaz Sharif. They were there with Imran Khan, right? Every government, and you see them, they keep changing sides, right? And they keep, let us say, destroying the economy of Pakistan. They're all this thing. You have good technocrats. You have young people. You have very young people. Look at the composition of the State Bank of Pakistan today, right? Seema Kamil, right, as one of the deputy governors. Murtaza Said, who's just retired as one of the deputy governors. And then, of course, Inayat. You look at the quality of the presidents of our banks, like people like Aurangzeb or Atif Bajwa or Kabir Naqvi or Zafar Masood, right? All these people, and I'm sorry, I should also name people who are like the head of UBL, right? So the point is, you have tremendous people working, right? So, and they really can do a lot, right?
So you bring all these people here. So tell me about the importance of bringing all these people, and maybe there was a realization for you also. That I need to get my people in, reward them. How important is that? What would be your message to other Pakistani businessmen?
Very important. We have the finest working manpower in the world. We need to actually get the best out of them, and the best out of them is the way that we can share our experiences, our comforts, our wealth, whatever, in whatever way you want. I think one of the ways is that you've traveled here a couple of times with me. Some of these people have never traveled abroad, and they've come to Switzerland, to Davos. For them it's highlight. And let me tell you, what's my turnover rate is among them? 0. None of them leave. Right, and they've been offered jobs 2 or 3 times the price, right? And they have refused. They said, we looked after here. And I think that is the legacy I want to pass on to my son.
How would you describe what the expectations from the US? I mean, one thing is very clear, that they want to delay the rise of China. That's what they say. But what is the expectation?
I think the United States very rightly wants to preserve its position as a superpower. Who wouldn't, right? But I think now that they've got out of Afghanistan, and they know that Pakistan is the only country that can really contain the terrorism from coming out of Afghanistan. That way, what is going to happen is that you will have engagement with the United States, as partners, not as a client state, right? Or it should not be transactional. At the moment, all our relationships are transactional, and we have to understand we cannot equate the United States relations with India. The relationship with India is a big country, right? Let them have the relationship with the United States, as long as it doesn't affect us. As long as it doesn't affect us, doesn't concern us, right? It's a long walk, huh?
It's a long walk. But not this time also, not the same.
Yeah, but it's nice. But look at Ali, huh, walking backwards. You know, loyalty cannot be bought. Loyalty comes out of interaction between human beings, right? Right? You've come with us many years, right? You've seen our employees and how we interact with them, right? You think we can buy that? You think that can be purchased? It cannot be. It's got to be done with the feeling that yes, there is something which is good for good for all of us, and that our employers believe in us, right? That's what makes it.